Hello and welcome in. My name is Aria, and I am happy you found your way here. This is a slow, quiet place, a few minutes that belong only to you. There is nowhere to be and nothing to fix. We will take the English gently, one easy sentence at a time, so you can follow along and rest at the same time. You do not need to be perfect here. You only need to be here. So wherever you are listening from, settle in, soften your shoulders. Let your breath grow slow and long. And when you feel ready, we will begin together. Let me ask you something tonight, and please take your time with it. Has someone you love ever told you that they are not okay? Have you ever answered them quickly with an idea or a suggestion or a small piece of advice? And did the room go quiet after that, in a way you did not expect? Perhaps you went home afterwards and lay awake. Perhaps you decided that you had said the wrong thing. Perhaps you decided that you were simply not good at this, and that someone wiser would have known what to do. I want to tell you something kind before we go any further. You are not the wrong person. You were trying to reach somebody you care about, and that is a good thing to have been doing. Today, we are not going to learn a list of perfect sentences. We are also not going to learn how to fix another human being, because that is not something one person can do for another. Instead, we are going to talk about how to stay. Here is the picture I want to give you, and we will come back to it many times today. Imagine that you walk into a dark room. Someone you love is sitting inside it, on the floor, in the quiet. Your hand goes straight to the wall, looking for the light switch. That is what hands do. Today, I am going to ask you to leave the switch alone. Sit down beside them instead, and then wait while your eyes get used to the dark. I want to begin with an evening from my own life. It happened many years ago, and I still think about it. A friend of mine was going through a hard season. Her mother was ill. Her work had become heavy. She called me one afternoon and asked if she could come over. And of course I said yes. It was autumn, and it rained the whole day. We sat at my kitchen table, beside the window. I remember the rain running down the glass in long, thin lines. I remember making tea in 2 blue cups. I remember the small lamp on the table between us, because I reached for it, and then my hand stopped. The room was slowly growing dark. It was that soft hour when the day is leaving, and the night has not arrived. My friend began to talk. She did not cry. She spoke very slowly, and she looked at the table while she spoke. And I began to help. I told her about a doctor somebody had once recommended to me. I told her she should try to sleep more. I asked her whether she had written a list. I said that everything looks worse in the autumn, which is true and which was completely useless. Every sentence I offered was kind. Every sentence I offered was reasonable. And with each one, my friend grew a little quieter. Then she looked up. She was not angry with me at all. She said one thing very softly. You do not have to answer it. At first, I did not understand her. I thought she was talking about the trouble she was in. She was talking about something else entirely. She meant the silence. She had not come to my house carrying a question. She had come carrying a weight, and she wanted to set it down in front of another person for 1 hour. I had been so busy being useful that I had not once said, I am here. We sat for a long time after that, and I never did turn on the lamp. The kitchen went blue and then gray. The tea went cold in both cups. The fridge hummed behind us, and neither of us said very much at all. Then something happened that I did not expect. After a few minutes, I could see her face perfectly well. My eyes had got used to the dark. Nothing in that kitchen had changed, and yet I could see everything in it. That was the evening I learned what today is about. My friend did not need a brighter room. She needed company in the room she was already sitting in. So the small practice for this first part is not about anybody else. It is for you. Think of one conversation that you decided you got wrong. Perhaps you said too much, as I did. Perhaps you said nothing at all, and you have been sorry about it since. Now say this to yourself quietly. I was trying to help someone I love. Because you were. And that is where all of this begins. Here is the second thing I would like us to look at together. Why is another person's silence so hard to sit inside? I think almost everybody has felt this. Your friend stops speaking, the quiet grows longer, and something in your chest starts to push you to talk, to offer, to do. Here is what I have slowly learned about that push. It is usually not about them. It is about us. When somebody we love is hurting, we hurt as well. Their sadness comes into our body and sits down there. And it is heavy, and we want it to stop. So our hand starts feeling along the wall. Advice is the switch we are hunting for. It is quick, it feels useful. It gives us something to do with our hands. But think about what a lamp actually does in a dark room. It removes nothing. The chairs are the same chairs. The person is the same person, carrying the same weight. A sudden light only makes the room easier for whoever has just walked in. And there is something else about a bright lamp. When you have been sitting in the dark for a long while, light hurts. You close your eyes against it. You turn your face away. That is how fast advice can feel to a sad person, even when every word of it is good. Underneath, it can sound like this. Please be a little less sad now, because I am finding this hard. I want to say the next part very clearly, because I do not want you to carry any shame out of this quiet hour. Wanting to fix it is not a fault. It is love, in a hurry. You are not a bad friend for offering ideas. You are a warm person whose warmth arrived faster than your patience. And that is all it is. Patience can be practiced a little at a time. Like anything else in a language you are still learning. That is not always the whole story. And I should say so. Sometimes a friend truly is asking you for an idea. You will hear it because they will ask you a real question and then wait for your answer. In that moment, your suggestion is a gift, and you should give it. But if nobody has asked you anything, then nothing has to be solved in the next minute. The room is allowed to stay exactly as it is. So here is the line I want you to remember from this part. The rush to fix is often the wish to escape. And here is a gentler way to hold it. Helping is not the same as fixing. You can help somebody for a whole evening and fix nothing at all. And that evening can still be the best thing in their week. Now the practice for this part. It is very small, and you could use it tonight. When someone tells you something heavy, and you feel the advice rising in your throat, do not speak yet. Take 3 slow breaths first. Breathe once while you simply look at them. Breathe again while you let the quiet be there. Breathe a 3rd time while you decide whether your idea is for them or for you. Most advice does not survive that 3rd breath, and whatever arrives afterwards is usually much kinder and much shorter than the thing you nearly said. Let us pause here for just a moment. Take 1 slow breath in and let it go. Now I would like to answer the question that brought many of you here today. What do I actually say? Because that is the real fear, is it not? The fear is not that you do not care, because you care a great deal. The fear is that you will open your mouth and something clumsy will come out. So let me give you 4 short sentences. They are ordinary. There is nothing clever in any of them. and they work in almost every difficult moment, in whatever language you are speaking. The first one is this: I am here. That is only 3 words, and they promise nothing you cannot give. They do not ask your friend to feel better, or to explain herself, or to be good company. They say something much simpler: the door is open, and I have not left. The second one is this: that sounds heavy. You are not agreeing that their life is ruined. You are saying that you heard the weight in it. When a person feels heard, something in the shoulders lets go, even if only a little. The third one is this: tell me more. People forget this one, and it may be the most powerful. We are so frightened of making somebody sadder that we quietly change the subject, and then they are alone with it again. Asking to hear more takes courage, and it is a real gift. The fourth one is this: you do not have to explain it. Sad people spend a great deal of energy justifying their own sadness. Tired people spend even more. That sentence takes the job away from them for one evening. Notice something about all 4 of them. They are short. A long sentence asks a tired person to keep up. A short sentence lets them rest. So when your friend is sitting in the dark, keep your words small and slow, the way you would speak in a room where somebody is sleeping. Notice something else as well. Not one of those 4 sentences contains a solution. That is not because solutions are bad. It is because a solution is a door, and your friend has not reached the door yet. She is still sitting on the floor. This is where your eyes begin to get used to the dark. You stop searching the wall, and slowly the shapes of the room arrive. You can see her face. You can see what she needs, and it is almost always smaller than you feared. So remember this line, because it is the heart of everything today. You do not need the right words. You only need to stay. Here is the practice, and I would love you to do it before you sleep. Choose one person. Choose one of the 4 sentences. Send it or say it with nothing after it. Do not add advice. Do not add a question that needs a long answer. Do not begin anything with the words, "Have you tried?" Give the small true thing, and then allow the quiet that follows it. There is one more thing I want to give you, and it is the part people feel shy about asking. How do you stay close to someone who is sad without going down into it with them? This matters more than it sounds. If sitting with your friend leaves you empty every single time, you will slowly begin to avoid her. Then guilt about that will arrive as well, and neither of you will understand what happened between you. So let us walk into our dark room one last time. You came in. You left the switch alone. You sat down beside the person you love. Notice something simple about where you are. You are sitting in that room. You have not moved into it. The door you came through is still behind you. You can stand up. You can go home. You can sleep in your own bed, eat something in the morning, go to your work, and come back tomorrow evening. And here is the part that surprised me most. Coming back tomorrow is the whole gift. Almost anyone can be kind for one long dramatic night. Very few people are still there on an ordinary Tuesday. 3 weeks later, when the trouble is no longer new and everybody else has gone quiet. And coming back does not have to be a big event. It can be a short message on a Wednesday that asks nothing at all. It can be a walk to the shop together, talking about the weather. It can be an evening on a sofa watching something ordinary, with the hard subject sitting politely in the corner of the room, allowed to be there and not required to speak. Small returns are how a person learns that they have not become too much for you. That lesson cannot be given in one night. It is built slowly, out of Wednesdays. So please do not spend everything you have in the first hour. Before you go to your friend, decide when you will leave. that sounds cold, and it is the opposite of cold. A visit you are able to repeat is worth far more than one that empties you. You can even say it out loud, warmly. I have got an hour, and all of it is yours. An hour that is truly given is a beautiful thing. 3 hours given while you quietly worry about your own evening are not better than that. So here is the reframe to keep from this part. Sitting with someone is not the same as carrying them. You are not their roof. You are not their answer. You are the person beside them in the dark, and that is a smaller job than you imagined, and a far more important one. I want to add one more thing softly, because it belongs here. Sometimes the sadness in the room is bigger than a friend can hold. If you ever feel that, you are allowed to say so, and you are allowed to help them gently find someone with more training than you have. Noticing that moment is not giving up on anybody. It is also love, and it is a very steady kind of love. The practice for this part is a question you answer before you arrive. Rather than afterwards, ask yourself this: how much time can I truly give today? Then give exactly that much, and give all of it, and go home without guilt. Before we finish, I would like us to do one small thing together. It takes about 10 seconds. If you are somewhere safe, let your eyes close. If you are not, simply lower them and let the room go soft. Now bring one person into your mind, somebody you have been worried about, somebody you have been afraid of saying the wrong thing to. Do not plan a speech for them. Do not go looking for the clever sentence. Choose one of our 4 small sentences instead. Say it now, quietly, in the voice you would use if that person were sitting beside you. I am here. Feel how little it costs you to say. Feel how much it carries anyway. Let your eyes open again, and let us finish where we started. You will not always find the switch on the wall. Some rooms in this life simply do not have one, and the people we love will sit in them from time to time, and so will we. When that happens, you do not need to bring a lamp. You need to walk in slowly. You need to sit down, and you need to wait a little while your eyes get used to the dark. Give it a few quiet minutes, and you will see them clearly. They will see something too. They will see that you stayed. So carry this away with you tonight. You do not need the right words. You only need to stay. Be gentle with the people you love this week. Be just as gentle with yourself on the days you get it wrong, because you will, and so will I. And we can begin again the next evening. Take one slow breath with me now and let it go. Thank you for staying with me through these quiet minutes. Choosing to slow down like this is a gentle thing to do for yourself. And I hope you carry a little of this calm with you. If sitting here helped, you are welcome to like or follow along, because it is a quiet way to keep these calm sessions close, and it helps other gentle listeners find their way here too. Be soft with yourself today. I will be here whenever you would like to return.